From Wild Wing catching some real heat, to Mackerel Jordan snapping and attacking a poor worker, here are the times mascots stole the show. Our first mascot is Wild Wing, who ended up getting a little too hot to handle. It literally caught fire. And no, I'm not making a joke about spicy wings, I'm talking real flames on the beloved Wild Wing mascot. This happened back in 1995 at the Anaheim Ducks home opener. Their mascot, Wild Wing, seemed to get a bit chilly. Excuse the pun. But anyway, instead of swaddling up in a coat, scarf, or literally anything else over the uniform, this duck decided to live up to its name and do something super wild. It jumped straight into the nearest source of heat, which was, as you might have guessed, a huge pit of fire. And the big supporters behind this decision? None other than the team's power players. Now, Wild Wing wasn't dumb enough to jump straight into the fire. The poor duck was just trying to jump over it. But you can blame the huge mascot uniform and the slippery ice for sending him stumbling straight into the flame. Now, this could have been a grisly end for poor Wild Wing. By that I mean the player's mascot could have changed into a roasted duck. But thankfully, the power players leapt to the rescue, and Wild Wing's fire was put out. I bet no one even remembered the score from that game on their way back home. If anything, I'm sure the team was grateful they went with a traditional costumed mascot rather than a live one, because that really wouldn't have turned out too well. Things can be unpredictable even when there's no fire hazard around. Just take a look at when the Seattle Seahawks live mascot stole the spotlight by joining the audience without any warning. Taima face planted on a fan. In Seattle's home games, the mascot loves to swoop out of the tunnel, excite the fans, and takes her time in the limelight. She's a gorgeous auger hawk who's been trained by a master falconer from a young age. But I guess she skipped class the day crowd safety was being taught, because at a 2014 game, Taima decided to chill with the audience, right in the middle of her pre-game routine. The poor fan reacted, well, how you'd expect someone to respond if a giant hawk face planted on them. Just a reminder, its wings are 4 feet long. So seeing those flapping towards you probably inspires some genuine terror. Still, the pictures came out pretty great, and the hawk seemed to savor her moment in the spotlight. She seemed apologetic afterward. I mean, as apologetic as a bird can look, and even expressed her regret on Twitter. But I think that was just the PR team doing their best to minimize damage, because she did this once again in 2021. While this mascot decided to cause mayhem in the crowd, the next one went all out in the fields instead. Brutus decided to sub as quarterback. I'm sure mascots are all padded up on the job, but it doesn't come close to the helmets, protective pads, and well, years of experience that the players on the field have. This might seem like common knowledge, but it looks like the Buckeyes mascot Brutus just didn't care, because he decided to join the team he was supporting as a player. I guess he was rethinking career paths, but in the end, it seems like he should stick to the sidelines, because the team didn't hold back with him. When he was running for it down the field, a linebacker fully tackled him to the ground, making him let go of the ball. Even though he didn't sustain any injuries, I'm sure the poor Buckeye won't be going so nutty again. Now, this next mascot also decided to get involved with the team, but in a slightly more unusual way. Clutch spooked players. The 2014 Houston Rockets team was nothing short of amazing. But even pro athletes aren't immune to jump scares, which is how Clutch the Bear used to prank the team members. Right before the team headed out of morning practice, he'd don his suit and wait for them to round the corner and scare them senseless. Now, I know an inflatable bear isn't all that scary, but if it's jumping at you while you're not expecting a thing, it'll probably make you scream too. The funniest thing about him scaring the players, though, was how differently they all reacted. Some reacted as if it was a normal part of their day and simply stepped away from the bear, while others got spooked enough to lightly punch it. But the craziest and also the most unpredictable reaction was Dwight Howard's. The 3-time Defensive Player of the Year threw his phone in the air and even kicked poor Clutch, before slowly realizing that it was a joke. You'll be happy to know they got out without any injuries. The next mascot, however, instead of scaring people, decided that the best way to steal the spotlight was to help a fan out, live on the Kiss Cam. Benny the Bull proved chivalry isn't dead. In 2015, the Bulls beat the Celtics at the United Center. But all the audience remembers today is Benny's heroic moment that was caught on the Kiss Cam. First, you could see a woman getting told off by her boyfriend on the Jumbotron, which must have pissed off any spectator. But it seems like Benny felt most strongly about it, because he charged in to save the girl, and gave the guy a little smack on the head too. If you think it sounds too good to be true, you're right, because this moment was staged. Still though, it makes for a very memorable game night moment, and it stole the show. Next up, we have yet another mascot who took center stage, but this time to show off his dance moves. Cosmo the Cougar's choreography was crazy. At a football game in 2018, Cosmo and the Cougarettes pulled out some insane dance moves to hype up the crowd. And let me just say, they were very successful in their mission. The routine was created by the dance captains of the team and ended up going viral on social media. I mean, you couldn't scroll any site without seeing this dance, or a video of someone copying the dance. With millions of views on social media, it's fair to say that the Cougar was able to steal the limelight for the game. The video got so big that sales for the song they were dancing to, Rolex by Ayo and Teo, got a huge boost as well. The record label for the duo even reached out to collab with the Cougar. The three teamed up to perform at the Marriott Center. It's good to see this mascot gets its due for providing top-tier entertainment. Now, besides dancing, some mascots decided to play a little football game with kids during halftime. And you'd probably expect them to take it easy. But the Braves mascot didn't hold anything back. Blooper stiff-armed children. At a football game in 2022, Blooper was one of the other mascots participating in a halftime football game. It was them versus local youth players from Atlanta, and he decided to pay no heed to the size of his opponents. He threw a pretty serious stiff arm that knocked over several little defenders to the ground. The video of the incident went viral after being tweeted by the mascot's official account, with the caption, "King Bloopy." I guess it's safe to say that the mascot felt no remorse for his actions. Even though the mascots in this match got along pretty well as a team, these two decided to brawl it out instead. The Wilbur vs. Sparky showdown. Even though the two teams were playing against each other for the 86th time, this was the first match with a full-on mascot fistfight. The college football world's reaction to this viral fistfight was pretty hilarious. Even though the moment was staged, people still couldn't stop talking about it. Some users started chiming in by predicting the scores of the fight. But mostly, everyone noticed that the Sun Devil was throwing serious hands. Next on the list, we have a mascot that doesn't work with any specific team, but is quickly proving that he should be. Mackerel Jordan ate an unsuspecting victim. This mascot was just doing his job and entertaining the crowd at a baseball game, when he decided to go up to a ground worker who was raking the dirt. The two got involved in a fun game of fetch, but it seems like the worker got a little bored of it, because he pulled the classic hidden ball trick. It looks like that was enough for Mackerel to snap, because he decided to swallow the poor worker, proving that before you mess with this fish, you should prepare for the worst, which is, of course, becoming fish food. The worker was returned unharmed though, just with a little less clothing, and the fish walked away knowing that it just provided the most memorable moment of the game. So, from Mackerel Jordan snapping and attacking a poor worker, to Wild Wing catching some real heat, these were all the times mascots stole the show.